Hey everyone, welcome back to Mohsin Insights. Today, we're diving into a burning question. Why are investors still pouring billions into fossil fuels when the world is screaming for clean energy? I mean, with climate change in the headlines and renewable energy booming, it seems, well, kind of crazy, right? Let's unpack this. Stick around for 10 minutes and we'll break down the money, the motives, and what it all means for our planet. First, let's talk numbers. In 2024 alone, global fossil fuel investments hit over $1 trillion, according to reports like the International Energy Agency's World Energy Investment. That's right, trillion with a T. Meanwhile, renewables like solar and wind got about 700 billion. So fossil fuels are still winning the cash race even though clean energy is growing fast. Why? Well, it's not just about oil companies begging for money. It's about why investors, big banks, pension funds, even some governments, still see fossil fuels as a safe bet. Let's dive into the top reasons. Reason number 1. Profitability and reliability. Fossil fuels are still insanely profitable. Oil and gas companies like ExxonMobil and Shell reported record profits in 2023. Exxon alone made $36 billion. Investors love that kind of return. Plus, fossil fuels have a predictable market. We've got pipelines, refineries, and a global demand that isn't disappearing overnight. Compare that to renewables, which can be riskier. Think supply chain issues for solar panels or inconsistent wind patterns. Second, infrastructure lock-in. We've built a world that runs on fossil fuels. Cars, planes, factories, most still need oil, gas, or coal. Transitioning to clean energy means rebuilding entire systems, and that's expensive and slow. Investors know that even if renewables are the future, fossil fuels are the now. They're betting on short-term gains while the world plays catch-up. Third, political and economic influence. Fossil fuel companies have deep ties with governments and financial institutions. Some countries, like Saudi Arabia or Russia, depend on oil revenue to keep their economies afloat. Big banks like JP Chase and Citigroup have funded fossil fuels to the tune of hundreds of billions since the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015. Why? Because it's safe, familiar, and governments often subsidize fossil fuels with tax breaks or policies that make them cheaper than renewables. And let's not forget inertia. Investors are human, and humans hate change. Many funds, like pension plans or hedge funds, have been investing in oil and gas for decades. It's what they know. Switching to renewables means new expertise, new risks, and sometimes lower returns, at least in the short term, so they stick with the devil they know. Now here's the reality check. Continuing to fund fossil fuels is like investing in a sinking ship. Climate change is real. 2024 was one of the hottest years on record, with wildfires, floods, and hurricanes costing billions. The science is clear. We need to cut emissions by 45% by 2030 to avoid catastrophe, according to the IPCC. Plus, renewables are getting cheaper and more competitive. Solar power costs dropped by 80% in the last decade. Investors who ignore this trend risk being left behind. Some are waking up. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has started shifting funds toward clean energy, but it's still a drop in the bucket compared to their fossil fuel holdings. And here's the kicker. Public pressure is growing. Climate activists, shareholders, and even younger investors are demanding change. Divestment movements have pulled over $40 trillion from fossil fuels since 2014. That's huge. But it's not enough when banks and funds keep funneling money into oil and gas. So, what's the fix? First, governments need to end fossil fuel subsidies, about $1 trillion a year globally, and redirect that cash to renewables. Second, investors need to prioritize long-term gains over short-term profits. And third, you can make a difference. Check where your bank or pension fund invests. Support companies pushing for net zero. Vote for policies that speed up the energy transition. Every bit counts. The truth is, investors are still financing fossil fuels because it's profitable, familiar, and baked into our systems. But the tide is turning. Renewables are the future. And the sooner investors jump on board, the better, for their wallets and our planet. What do you think? Should investors ditch fossil fuels faster? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues that matter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on this channel. Let's keep the conversation going.